Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks-only gambling show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and look at this. It's like Freaky Friday. In fact, it's a Friday. Brandon is in for Adam. Adam is in for Brandon. Brandon is on PNW Prop Stars representing Brandon. Out of Christmas into the new year. How are you doing, buddy? Are you fired up to lay down the lumber today?
I'm more fired up because Adam said he would send me feet pics if I filled in for him today. So here I am. This is finally going to happen.
Wow, you're going to get so a little what was that dude? What's a big teeth guy, the Jets coach. Big guy. What's his name? Rex Ryan. Sexy Rexy, yeah. Sexy Rexy and the feet pics. Wilson, did you think we were going to start off with Sexy Rexy foot pick, nostalgia?
No. I didn't think this. I thought this was about a different kind of picks, Clinton, if you know what I'm talking about. Our picks for this upcoming game.
Oh, I thought he said foot. I gotcha. I thought it was foot fetish picks. I guess we're off to a start. I don't know exactly which one, but it's like our bets this year, Wilson. Sometimes on the rails, often off the rails. I know you're still in California. When do you travel back east, and what's that looking like for you, dude?
Well, I'm got a very generous winter break. I'm not heading back for 3 more weeks, so hopefully I have to reschedule my flight because it's during the Seahawks divisional round game.
Love it.
Yeah. We'll see.
We have a new goal, Brandon. The Seahawks are still playing football when Wilson must return back to Princeton. What can we do to get the Hawker right? What can folks do who are listening to this to get the Hawker right with us?
Well, I like how Wilson already has his Hawker right. Like he's planned his flight in place of a playoff game with the intention that then he'll have to switch it. So I feel like this is already setting up well. And if people want to get their Hawker right and get in the flock, you can go to getintheflock.com. You can join us and join our Discord. $3 a month and above get you into that. And of course, you can just join there to follow along too. It's whatever value you find in the show, we hope that you support us back.
Absolutely, we certainly do. And if folks are hitting this show for the first time ever, like on Seahawkers podcast network of shows, hey, realize 5 shows a week. This is the gambling show that's just about the Seahawks game. It's a lot of fun. However, flagship Seahawkers podcast, What If preview show, 3 and 3 out, the unique recap show. We kind of do it all on Seahawkers podcast, 5 unique shows a week. This happens to be one of them. And it's the only one that features the youngin from Princetonian, the Princetonian Parlays, of course, Mr. Wilson. But Wilson, I will put this on the screen right quick. Well, we just talked about that, of course. Subscribe. And Adam's not here. He is wearing the crown. So Adam's typically in. Brandon's in his place today. But Adam is the PNW champion of your bets, Wilson. 3 out of 4, not so great. Same for me. Which one kind of, rubbed you the most wrong way?
Well, I really like to take these ones that you can find out early in the game, but it's no fun when they miss. And really, I think I was more optimistic than I should have been about the Seahawks offense. So that first drive TD, I was getting ready to cash that one in, and it really burned me there.
Well, we talked about the scales of justice, Brandon, right? The scales of justice. That is a different outcome, most likely, if they just give Bobo the reception on 3rd down because he caught that freaking ball. He caught that ball and away we go. So I honestly think if we get that, I think we go for it on 4th. I think we march down and get the 6th. I think you actually win the week. On my side, I'm 1 DK reception away from hitting bet number 3. So I hit Tyjae Spears for the alt yardage, kind of felt it and just knew in my heart that he'd get the ball. So that one was easy in bet 3. JSN's been balling. DK, that one at the goal line, Brandon, the one that kind of goes through his hands. That's the one, man. If he just grasps that like Colby Parkinson, then man, oh man, I'm the champion. But that didn't happen for Wilson. Didn't happen for Clinton. So the man in the middle who you're representing today, Mr. Adam, he is our PNW Prop Star champ. So you're in the seat for him. What's the victory lap you want to take for the man?
Well, I just know that Adam, he was kind of bummed out because as soon as he said he wasn't going to be able to make it, he's like, and I know that I won this week. And so I'm missing out on taking that victory lap. So I'm not going to take it for him, but congratulations, Adam. You did it.
Yeah. Well, we all know that Adam is super, super humble, never talks trash, and never takes the opportunity to rub it in the face when he is the champion. And then Wilson, what's our update for the year? We got 2 weeks to go of the regular season. If we make the playoffs, remember, just like our Seahawks, PNW Prop Stars will continue on into the playoff run. But as of right now, what's the standings looking like, Wilson?
Well, Adam and I have flip-flopped each of the last 2 weeks. So in week 15, I went into the positive, he went into the negative, and now we've gone back the other way around. So I'm at minus $9.96. That's $9.96, not $996, thankfully.
Phew.
Adam is $4.66 clear. And
Wow.
Clinton, you are $78.68 in the negative. So you got to get aggressive this week.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? I was 90 something 2 weeks ago. So
That's true.
I am storming to par there, Brandon. So I'm quite excited about that. All right. So for the folks who might not know it, we do 3 regular bets, $10 a piece. We do our 4th bet. We call it the Fail Mary. Most call it the Sunday Rubber. $1 Sunday Scratcher has to be plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify. The other ones are $10 bets. Pick whatever the heck you want, negative odds, plus odds, it's yours. We do go by golf rules. Brandon's in for Adam. Brandon, you're on the tee box. What do you got for Adam's bet? And then, of course, do you have any Brandons you want to throw in to mix shows that you're digging on this week too?
Yeah, I have Adam's bets. I can represent him. I also have a few of my own, but I will start off because it is Adam's tee box. He's one of the things that we know just based off of history with Adam Emmert is that he likes his field goal bets. And his first bet of the day is a minus 125 odds bet. And he is going Jason Myers over 1.5 field goals. And if there's anything I notice about Adam's bets this week is that I feel like he's playing it relatively conservative for one, and I think he's leaning toward a low-scoring game. I'm kind of doing a similar thing. I think that I think that with the under being around 40 and a half is the line. Yep. I kind of think the under might be a way to go, but I'm not going to go there yet. I am going to the over bet that I think is really likely to hit. Najee Harris at 7.5 receiving yards. The thing is about Harris, he hasn't been catching footballs out of the backfield all that much these last few games. And so I think that's why that number is really, really low. But against the Seahawks, if he catches one pass, it's going to be over 7.5 yards. So minus 122 bet, Najee Harris over 7.5 yards receiving.
All right, let's tackle Adams first there, Wilson. Look, the thing I worry about, Wilson, is that has Adam hit a Myers prop this entire year, or does he just continually jinx? Is he always jinxing? Is bad year Myers actually just an artifact or consequence of the mush Mr. Adam Emmert betting on Myers to put it through the uprights? These things seem to be correlated, man.
It sure feels like it. I hope not, because I got Myers coming up later. So
nice. All right, good. And then the Najee Harris one, Brandon. Interesting you pick out Najee. It'll lead me right into my first down bet. I am up on the tee box. I'll take it. And then we can discuss Najee maybe as a whole here. So one of the things I like doing, which again, I don't care that I'm down 70 something dollars. My process is good. I will stick with that every single time. I do the homework and it will turn out okay. Once we get to our playoff run, I'm like Pete Carroll. I just need a little more time. I just need a little more time. That's all for this to turn around.
Plays.
That's it. A couple more plays. The process is great. So I went to DraftKings and I went to FanDuel. I kind of check those, that they're the ones I could play in Connecticut first and foremost. So I just kind of like to see, if I like a bet, are there big discrepancies? And if there are, why? So Najee Harris, dig this. On FanDuel, rush attempts for Najee Harris is at 15.5 rush attempts at plus 105. However, I go over to DK and that is at 12.5 at minus 110. We've got a phantom 3 rush attempts. And these are the two biggest, most long-term books here. It is very odd that they are that far off with something like volume-wise rush attempts. So I am taking Najee Harris over 12.5 rushing attempts at -110. I think it's a free square, or FanDuel is screwed up somehow, or one of them really screwed up, which is very unlikely. So I'll take the unlikelihood and say Najee gets the rock. So Brandon, different take on the Najee one. Had my reasons why there, but we're both on the Najee train early here, man.
Yeah, and I was almost onto a different Najee bet because I was looking for some of those differences too, and through the PointsBet app, they had Najee at 50 rushing yards as kind of the line, the over-under line, but then rushing and receiving was in the mid 60s, but yet they had the line for his receiving at 7.5. So that was weird numbers again, which almost led me to take the under on the combined rushing and receiving. But I like the receiving yards just because it was a small number. I figured it was maybe easier to overcome. And I think that I like your process here.
Oh, thank you. The ghost, when you find ghost math, something in the machine's broken, and there's usually money to be made there. So we shall see. All right, Wilson, you are now up on your first bet. What are you going for, dude?
Oh, this just feels weird. I haven't gone third in a long time. So I'm gonna try not to go after Adam too much this week since he's not here to defend himself. But I'm tired of him cooking up these, weird first down parlays where it's like Geno survives the game and the Seahawks don't lose by more than 21 points, and somehow he gets it to plus 110. Yes. I don't know what app he's using. I tried that out for myself this week, and the best that I was able to get at a number that I really liked was Geno to throw for 200 yards or more, and the Seahawks to win by more than 2.5 points. And that's at minus 105. So I don't know what app he's using, because somehow every week he turns in this bet into like a plus 120 situation, but that's what I have.
Got it. So Geno over 200, Seattle minus 2.5, right? And that gets you to the minus 105. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm chuckling a bit, and because Brandon and I know Adam's bets. Usually we don't in advance, but he had to send them via text. And I know the dude's got one cooked up just like that. But
I'm so glad I saved it. I think he normally leads off the show with these.
Yeah.
But I'm glad now that I saved it after Wilson had that, because yes, Adam does have an alternative point spread of Seahawks +4, which is minus 359 on the odd side. And then Geno Smith, 225 passing yards at minus 160. Those two things parlay together for a plus 100.
+1. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, hey, that extra 25 yards is a big deal. Obviously, Seattle getting 4 is also rather juicy there. But Geno's been in that kind of pocket quite a bit.
Right on the line. That's
219, 227.
Yeah. I feel like 225. I think I would have liked to have seen him go more. If we're looking for sure bets, I would think going closer to 200 would be a little safer.
Yeah, and I think he likes the Seattle getting 4 certainly. But listen, I'm starting to just listen to Vegas more when they're like, "Hey, Vegas says it's a pretty close game." Most often they've got this nailed. And what does Seattle play but close games, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right,
well, this gives a window too. I guess if the Seahawks lose by
3,
then
he can still hit that bet. We don't want that. Of course,
I don't even like to think about that.
Right. Yeah. I would have more liked to see that number. I'd come down on the Geno yards, come up on the Seahawks extra points. And
probably make it juicier along the way. Yeah.
Down on
well, hey, you have the mic anyway. So did you have a second down that you liked also, or did you just have one you want to lay in later? Up to you.
My second down, I liked, let's see. Because the last 2 games have been 20-17.
Yeah.
Steelers have a good defense. Keep that consistent with the score, an under of 38.5. So with the line being 40.5, you take off a couple points. Under 38.5 is plus 120.
Plus 120. Thought about overall unders a little bit in this game. They're smart. They're just not that fun. And
Yeah.
and I you know, which is why people don't take the under. Like the over gets more saturation.
38-0 shutout would be fun, Clinton.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. You know, where do we sign? Where do we sign? Yeah. Heck, man. We if that happens, Brandon Wilson, I think we would just make Brandon the PNW Prop Star of the Year because of the Nostradamus call, 38-0, and we would all be celebrating big time in the post game show with Brandon and Adam live after we get that W. All right, that sounds a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I said. All right, so I do have the thumbnail for this video is an awesome picture of K9, which if you see it on YouTube, then you'll see it. But I like Kenneth Walker specifically. It's like to me, hey, if this dude gets the right amount of volume, and I'll quantify that in a second, his chances of busting out at least one long run, I think, become really, really strong. Last 2 weeks, we saw a plus 20-yard run 2 times in a row, or 2 weeks in a row versus Philly and Titans, respectively. Longest run this week is at over 15 and a half yards. Oh, I didn't even write down. I think it's like I have to go back and check it in, put it down. I think it's minus 105, minus 110. I will go put that in and make sure I got it right. But here's the deal, guys. Seattle is 7-1 when K9 gets 16 or more rushing attempts this season. And I'm willing to bet, Vegas set the rush attempts line at 16 and a half. So that one's like, okay, Vegas, you're doing the math too. I don't like that, but I like the idea that if he gets 15, 16, 17 touches, rushing attempts, he's going to bust one of them because of the type of back he is. So I'd rather flip the coin, if you will, on K9 being K9 once, at least once, against the Steelers team that, you know, they're good, but they're not great. So I got K9 with the longest rush. Wilson, how's my process? I need to be loved today, Wilson. How's my process?
Your process is phenomenal, Clinton. It's beautiful.
Yes. Doesn't pan out often, Wilson, but heck, I think I'm getting there with some facts, logic, and reason. And boys, what do you think of, Brandon, when you hear this 7-1 Seahawks record, 16 or more rush attempts? What do you think Seattle should do with Kenneth Walker then?
Maybe hand him the football, because 16, that's not getting into that category. Because I know that people like to point to rush attempts and have it be like, oh, well, you get rush attempts because you're trying to run out the clock at the end of the game because you have the lead.
Not us.
16, not the Seahawks, because we barely have the lead. And 2, 16 attempts is not in that type of territory. That's more of the 22, 23, 24 that you really start to see those types of numbers. And yeah, that's a really big stat, because I think Adam was saying this in the What If show. You don't necessarily have to have success. You just have to do it over and over. Yeah. And if anything, Wilson, like K9's actually kind of getting robbed in the sense that he's not the 2-minute dude. So or the 4-minute drill guy. So if we're down in the fourth quarter or second half, you know, the end of the half, he's not on the field very often. And so he's actually getting robbed of the chance of, oh, we're up 21-10 in the fourth quarter. It's time to salt the game away. He doesn't get those touches because we're never in that situation. So, Wilson, can we ever get there this year versus the last 2 opponents?
Yeah, well, I'll get into it on my third down bet, but I actually really like K9 bets for this game.
Nice. Then my thumbnail was premonition. Is that even the right thing? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. You're up on your second down bet, Mr. Wilson. So give us some premonitions of making some moolah. Where are you going on second down?
Well, I like this to be a low-scoring game. Both teams, this is a really sad stat. Both teams have only cracked 20 points once in their last 6 games. So the under I got on, or the line I got on DraftKings was right at 41. So I'm taking under for the game, and Myers over 1.5 field goals in a parlay. The Seahawks win 20-17 on a last-second touchdown, and it's at plus 206.
Hey, to double your money on that's not so bad. Deja vu all over again, Brandon. What do you think? Do you think it's another 20-7? That would get your number. You had 38.5, right? Yeah. So 20-17. Do you think we could three-peat that thing?
I like it, except the idea of parlaying those two together, it makes me a little bit nervous. I also, leading into my third down bet, I was looking at the more likely highest scoring quarter, which it ends up working out the same way, plus 200. And the interesting thing is, you go and you look, and where the Steelers and Seahawks have scored most of their points on average this season, both of them, the highest scoring quarter has been the fourth quarter. It seems more likely. Vegas actually has it as the second quarter as the more likely of the 4 or 5, I guess, because you have an equal bet that you could take, but plus 200 in the fourth quarter for me. Ooh. So it kind of, I think it piles on with what you're doing, Wilson, and I can get to Adams here too if we want to talk about that, but I figured I'd throw that out there.
Well, yeah, good throwing out there. And it just goes into, I mean, first of all, Pete ball, right? Can you score points in the first quarter? Sometimes no. But the fourth quarter has been back and forth. And also, we've also seen Seattle get ahead, but then also give it back. In not just last week. That's happened. I think the Detroit game too. I think we got ahead, gave it back, got ahead. Dallas game, got ahead, gave it away, couldn't quite get there, right? So, but still plenty of points in that fourth quarter. So at plus 200, Wilson, what do you think about Brandon coming off the top ropes with that spicy meatball?
I like it. I like how he's playing aggressive, unlike Adam. So,
ooh, yes.
Well, Adam does have a plus 200 third down bet. It is, and it's another parlay. Pat Freiermuth over 2.5 receptions, not a huge number. Tight ends, he hasn't been catching a lot of passes. I don't think he even caught any passes the last game against the Bengals, but against the Seahawks, tight ends makes sense. Jordan Brooks may not play, and throwing at Bobby Wagner seems to be a team that things do, or it seems to be a thing that teams do. Over 24.5 for Zach Charbonnet. Maybe a bounce back game for him against the Steelers. He's adding a minus 130, a minus 110 with Charbonnet, and getting plus 236.
236. Well, the Muth part I'm into, and I'll go into that in a second. The Sharps part, it's kind of rough. I mean, that line for Vegas, 24.5, it's pretty sincere when Sharps is only getting 2 to 3 touches a game at this point. He's in there a lot. He's getting snaps, and he's getting chances to receive the ball, but he has not been featured whatsoever, Wilson, lately. Do you think that we get I think to get to 24.5, you got to be thinking, all right, that's 5 to 6 rushing attempts just to start averaging that. It's still a pretty good average. Do you think that Charbonnet even sniffs that many this week?
Yes, I think all of Adam's bets are correct, and they're definitely going to hit this week against the Steelers.
I love it. He's Brandon. He's hearkening a little bit of DCH. I think
a somewhere reverse jinxing there. I sense in his tone.
DCH has one tier somewhere right now, right? So I think in Nevada, right? That's where DCH resides.
Nevada, but yeah,
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada,
okay, cool.
Please, Clinton.
Gotcha. I got you. I'll keep pronouncing it correctly. Don't worry, guys. All right. So here's my third down bet. I'll tell you where I'm going. When I put things into the old, odds maker machine, whatever this is, DK or FanDuel, and you get a number like this. I mean, you got to hammer it. Plus 333. So I'm going there first. I do have Freiermuth at over 2.5 receptions. Same reasons you said, Brandon. I think we'll get the middle picked on as we typically do. I got Jaylen Warren over 3.5 receptions. 3 weeks in a row, he's at 5+. So keep it rolling. And I actually took the JSN receptions and I took it down a notch to say 4 or over. So just not 4.5, just 4+. I put those three things in a blender. I get my Wilson 333. And again, process-wise, guys, I am the champion of process. This is a killer. So Brandon, just numerically, I mean, is it fun to have something that's plus 333?
Why don't you do all your bets this way? Like hammer 333 on first down, 333 on second down, and 333 on third down. That's 3 times the 333. You can't even miss. What are you doing?
This is year 2, week 16, and now I finally learned it because you're here to tell me so. So I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Wilson, you are third down bet, and then we'll get over to the Fail Marys. Where are you going?
Well, you guys have been talking a lot of running backs, and I think this is going to be a big game for both teams on the ground. Both teams are in the bottom half of rush defense, where the Seahawks are significantly further down in that bottom half than the Steelers, but both are still in the bottom half. So I'm going for all 3 running backs here. I'm taking some alternate lines, but I'm going for them all to hit overs on these yardages. So Warren over 26.5, Harris over 46.5, even though he runs like he's got his pants down at his ankles. And Kenneth Walker, this is a bigger number, 68.5. Those hit. It's at plus 345.
Plus 345. Look, it's not the, it's, if I'm the Steelers and I just go back and watch the Titans game, hey, Brandon, I mean, like, what, if you're Mike Tomlin, how would you prepare to play the Seahawks at this time of year?
Yeah, I would use a lot of those guys. And yeah, Warren, I looked a lot at the Warren bets, and I just, I didn't find any that really jumped out at me, but I see Wilson did. And yeah, I like that quite a bit. The Walker one, it's probably right. I mean, I'd like to see him hit 80 plus, but yeah, so that's right in range. Those are all really achievable.
Yeah, they're all achievable and unlikely they all happen at once, hence the plus 345. However, again, process and understanding of what these teams like to do, how they fancy themselves also, and the time of year it is, all those things, we should get a healthy dose of run the football in this game. And my math said earlier that if K9 gets more than 16 touches, it's highly likely we get our W. We all want to win our bets, but end of the day, whatever. We trade them all for the Seahawks victory. But one thing we will not trade in, Brandon, is our Fail Mary. Of course, it harkens back to the awesome play by Golden Tate, a very real reception. That was a correct call by the artificial judges. And we honor that. $1 must be plus 1,200 or longer. So why not Adams first? And then give us what you cooked up there, please, Brandon.
All right. Yeah. Adam and I both got to plus 1,600 with one individual choice. And Adam is going with the total touchdowns exact number being the number 1. One touchdown exactly in this game gets you plus 1,600. So counting on the low scoring, counting on field goals, that it does seem possible. This is not going to be the most fun game to watch if this plays out, but maybe that's part of it too. Part of the strategy is that, oh man, this game sure sucks, but if nobody scores touchdowns, then I'm walking away a winner.
I might as well win. All right, then how about yours?
I am going with, we haven't seen the JSN breakout game just yet, but JSN needs just 9 receptions to pass Joey Galloway for first place in receptions by a Seahawks rookie. Why not get it done in this game against the Steelers? Sure, they don't have to go downfield a lot. He can catch some screen passes outside, get rid of the ball quickly. 9 receptions by JSN, plus 1,600.
Ooh, plus, like you said, you both at plus 1,600. So JSN 9 or more. It'd be cool too, because then he gets it done in the 16-game season, which is kind of cool. And you don't need the extra 17th game that obviously Galloway didn't have, wasn't afforded to him at the time he played professional football. Well, Wilson, if the Seahawks were to score only 1 touchdown, right? Nobody has touchdown bets this week, but in your heart, who do you want to be the touchdown scorer? If we only had 1 this week, who should it be?
Oh, it's hard because I really like the way Metcalf has been playing lately.
Yes.
And he's been getting in the end zone a lot, but I think I'd have to say Lockett. Lockett has not scored in a while, and I think I would love to see just one of those vintage toe tap Tyler Lockett touchdowns. If Geno can get the ball to him, that's the main question, but that would be, I think, the thing I would like to see the most. Or a pick 6.
Ooh, that would be fun. I did call for a pick 6 in the What If show for Trey Brown, Brandon. That was my wish. So hopefully that does happen. I would go Metcalf simply because he's 2 yards away from 1,000. So as long as it's not 1 reception for 1 yard, he's going to get that. And then he's encroaching. He's right at the doorstep of double-digit touchdowns again. If he gets this, he'll be at 9 with another game to go. And he is just slowly compiling 5 years of being really, really good at football. Like maybe not the top 5 guy and all that jazz. Yeah, great. He's been consistently really, really solid wide receiver 1/2. And he's had some topsy-turvy teams that were I mean, some good, some bad offensive wise, and he's been a real steady Eddie. So we'd love to see that. Well, Brandon, if you had the one wish, the one touchdown, who would be your Seahawk?
Ooh, well, gosh, I like the interception, and Trey Brown's a fine answer. I like Lockett. I'm going to go with K9 just because I want to see him get in the end zone. This is going to be a rushing game. Why not? And really, part of it is that I want to see a red zone touchdown by Walker, not just one of those long runs. I want to see him actually handing the ball off to K9 within the red zone and him getting into the end zone.
I'm going to strike a deal with you right now. So I've got my longest, rushing by K9 over 15 and a half. You said red zone. So how about a 17-yard K9 touchdown? And with that, my Fail Mary, which I forgot to look at before I was saying how much I would love DK to be the only touchdown maker, is K9 first touchdown of the game. So that'll be a 17-yarder. And I combine that with JSN 5 or more receptions, and that gets me to 1255. So a little bit of spice. K9 on the board for Vegas was the most likely to be the first touchdown scorer. So, it was at minus 110 or something like that, or whatever it was. It was paying money, but wasn't big money. So I'll take that. I think his anytime touchdown was minus 110. So Vegas thinks pretty good odds he gets in the end zone. So why not the first time around? That's my Fail Mary. And hey, for me, it's train, keep a rolling with JSN. This is 5 to 7 receptions weekly. If Metcalf ended up on the injury report yesterday with a back issue, we're recording this Friday early Eastern Eastern time. We don't know about Metcalf as of Friday, so we just don't know.
I know.
You do? What do you got?
He's going to play because he has to.
Gotcha.
Well, for what? So even if DK is struggling in the injury department, knowing that Joey Porter's probably going to be the guy to follow him and is their best corner, he needs to be out there at the very least as a decoy.
Yeah. DK decoy, take that away Metcalf. And just open things up for Lockett. Possible touchdown for Wilson or JSN with lots of receptions, which would make Brandon's Fail Mary come into picture. All right, Wilson, your Fail Mary, last one. What do you got?
Well, I'd like to amend my earliest answer. Now that I'm glancing again at my Fail Mary, I'd like to amend my earlier answer on what touchdown I'd prefer in this game if there's only one touchdown.
Right.
And I am in my Fail Mary. It's a 2-leg parlay. Part of it is a Seahawks defensive special teams touchdown.
Nice.
I'd be saying, Wilson, you already said you want to see a pick six. What could you possibly be hoping for? Give me a DJ Dallas punt return touchdown, walk off to win the game. So that's a defensive or special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting in on the race to points here. I haven't done it so far this season, but to win the race to 25 points, nobody. Both of these offenses are trash, and it's going under 41, so no one's getting 25 points in this game.
I love it.
And you put those two together, and it's 1,400.
1,400. Okay, so Brandon, which one's more likely that nobody gets to 25? Well, that one's way more likely.
Yeah,
I guess. What's the likelihood that DJ Dallas actually takes what he's competent, but his ceiling is quite limited. He's not exactly
competent. Competent's a strong word, Clinton. That's just a strong word.
The stats are what they are in terms of like his punt return and his kickoff averages. He's actually in the upper third.
Yeah, it's because when he lets the ball go, that doesn't count. But
yeah. That's how he's keeping his averages up, by the way.
Like Adam not showing up for this one, right? Just he's punted it away, letting it roll right by him. It's funny
though. I was looking at Dallas because I think his number for an anytime touchdown was like plus 750. And I was thinking, oh, you got chances on special teams. And then now that we saw the wrinkle last week of him being the guy, the tush push guy,
I like
they
that.
get down into a goal line situation, plus 750, sure, that's I could see them rolling out that play again.
That's spicy. That's
I
spicy.
like that. That is definitely careful territory. I do listen. Like we talked about, give us the dude with the biggest tree trunks, and that is DJ Dallas territory all day long. So if we see another chance at a tush push, man, I'm going to be so upset when this happens. So when I don't get this K9 touchdown because we're doing a DJ Dallas tush push, I'm going to curse you, Brandon. I will curse you into the universe.
Just throw $3 onto a DJ Dallas anytime touchdown, just so that is covered.
Hey, we bet $31 on this show, and y'all know which player it's for. It's DJ Dallas. So pay some respect.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Cam Chancellor whatsoever. It's all about DJ Dallas. So, all right, we're gonna have the ball dropping on us as this game concludes. It's of course New Year's Eve. We want everybody to have an awesome time and a great new year for our Seahawks to keep on a rolling. Wilson, look, we talked about one touchdown. Okay, now I'm going to give you the choice. You get one drink. You can drink as much as you want of it. It's volume wise. Hell's bells, but your New Year's drink of preference, if you had to take a drink, again, volume, you could make it 100 ounces. I don't care. What are you drinking? What's your choice?
Well, I'm not a big champagne guy, and I like beer, but actually nothing can beat my childhood favorite, which is the Martinelli's sparkling cider. Something about that is just so good, and I'll probably drink a whole bottle of that on New Year's Eve.
Careful. Don't go too, don't go too nuts. Don't go too nuts. Brandon, I know you like a beer every now and again, a cider. Yeah. What's your one drink to ring in the bell? What's your choice?
The funny thing about this is I remember Doug Baldwin having a Martinelli's sponsorship, and that he was pushing that hard around New Year's. So I picture Wilson as like a impressionable young teenager and being like, "Oh, Doug Baldwin drinks Martinelli's. That's going to continue to be my drink of choice on New Year's." We had a family party this week, and we have a relative who makes this slushy rum drink. It's super, super good, and so I would pick that.
Slushy rum. I like that. That sounds wonderful. I would normally pick a simple beer like a Yingling, but there's no way I could pick a Pennsylvania beer. I can't do that this week. So it won't be that. So if I had to go with something that's going to do the trick, I'm going to go with this. I think of the simplicity of maybe some Tito's vodka. You know what? You make a drink that tastes like an Orangina. Right. So you get the orange seltzer, maybe put a little OJ in there with the pulpy bits, and it tastes like an Orangina, but somehow is getting you wrecked. I'll go for that. I'll go that route because it's yummy as can be. So, well, dudes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know that we'll pick this back up next week, but it will be 2024. Hopefully at that point, Seattle's looking at a really clear picture for how we get into the playoffs, but it ain't going to be easy because we don't do things easy. So let's just go get this W. Let's make some money. And Brandon, I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.